Seniors and Health warmly welcomes you. Doctors are often surprised when they meet older adults living alone who are not just surviving, but truly thriving. These seniors don't rely on noise or crowds. Instead, their secret lies in a few quiet, daily habits that gently reshape the mind and bring peace back to everyday life. Living alone in old age can feel like a silent drift, days blend into each other, and routines slowly fade. But doctors have noticed something remarkable. The happiest seniors who live alone all share one thing: simple daily rituals they follow no matter what. These aren't complex routines or grand achievements. They're often quiet, almost invisible to outsiders, opening a window at the same time each morning, making tea in a favorite cup, writing one grateful thought in a notebook. Yet these tiny acts provide something profound: structure, purpose, and inner peace. When you live alone, no one reminds you to get up, eat well, or reflect. That's why daily habits become a form of self-respect. They give shape to the day and remind your brain that life still has rhythm, beauty, and value, even in solitude. Doctors now understand that these rituals reduce anxiety, improve cognitive clarity, and strengthen emotional stability. They serve as anchors when everything else feels uncertain. Whether you're 68 or 88, your brain craves predictability and small wins. And in this video, we'll explore 5 quiet rituals practiced by seniors who live alone, yet walk through each day with joy, clarity, and surprising strength. One of the quietest, yet most powerful habits doctors observe in healthy seniors is this: they start their day slowly, with warm water and silence. No rushing. No screens. Just presence. Upon waking, these individuals drink a glass of warm water, not coffee, not cold juice. This gentle hydration reactivates digestion, supports circulation, and signals the brain that a new day has begun. But what comes next is even more important: they sit still for 5 minutes. No noise, no distractions, just peaceful observation of the morning light, the breath, and the body. This habit grounds the nervous system. It allows seniors to shift from sleep to wakefulness gently, giving their brain a moment to organize thoughts and emotions before the day begins. Doctors note that this moment of stillness lowers morning blood pressure, reduces cortisol, and improves mood. It's a ritual of respect, for the body, the mind, and the day ahead. Among the happiest seniors living alone, one habit quietly rises above the rest. Each morning, they write down 3 things they are grateful for. Not a long journal. Not an essay. Just 3 small things, written in a notebook, spoken aloud, or even whispered in prayer. Doctors call this practice microgratitude, and its effects are surprisingly powerful. According to studies from Harvard and the University of California, writing down just 3 gratitudes per day for 2 weeks can improve sleep, reduce inflammation, and increase optimism by over 20%. That's not just a mental shift, it's biological healing in action. So why does this matter even more for older adults who live alone? Because loneliness tends to magnify what's missing. It makes the brain scan the day for emptiness: what isn't there, who didn't call, what hurts. Gratitude does the opposite. It shifts the brain spotlight onto what remains. The warmth of sunlight. The taste of breakfast. A neighbor's wave. A good memory. Gratitude brings the focus back to presence, not absence. Dr. Elisa Grant, a geriatric psychiatrist, shares this insight. When seniors live alone, it's easy for days to feel quiet and hollow. But those who practice daily gratitude slowly rewire their brains. They stop chasing happiness, and start noticing it, right where they are. This ritual doesn't require any special tools. Just a small notebook or slip of paper. Some seniors even write their 3 items on post-it notes and stick them on the fridge, a mirror, or the front door. Others keep a gratitude jar, adding 1 note per day and reading them all at the end of the month. What counts as a gratitude? It could be anything. The pink flowers blooming outside my window. I stood up without pain this morning. The neighbor's cat sat on my porch again. I remembered my daughter's laugh today. Nothing is too small. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. Over time, this habit becomes more than a morning exercise, it becomes a lens for living. Seniors begin scanning their day for moments worth writing down, and in doing so, they notice more goodness. The walk becomes more vibrant. The coffee more comforting. The silence more peaceful. And here's something doctors find fascinating: this habit not only improves mood, it sharpens memory. The brain begins forming stronger connections around positive events. In clinical studies, seniors who wrote daily gratitudes performed better on memory recall tasks than those who didn't. If you're living alone and mornings feel heavy, start with this ritual. Just 3 lines. Even on your worst day, they're there, waiting. They don't have to be profound. They only need to be real. In time, these little lists become a map, a reminder that even in solitude, life continues to offer small gifts. And when you learn to see them, you realize, you were never really alone at all. One of the simplest habits shared by the happiest seniors living alone is this: they go outside and walk, gently, slowly, every single morning. Rain or shine, just 10 to 15 minutes of fresh air becomes the anchor that grounds their day. This is not about fitness. It's not about steps, pace, or distance. What matters is rhythm and connection. Doctors have long understood that movement in the morning helps reboot the brain, regulate blood pressure, and stimulate the body's natural cortisol cycle. But what they've discovered recently is even more surprising: a short, peaceful walk in the morning dramatically improves emotional balance in older adults, especially those living alone. Why? Because morning walks combine 3 healing forces at once: light, air, and gentle motion. 1. Natural light tells the brain to stop producing melatonin and to increase serotonin, a mood-regulating chemical that affects energy, motivation, and memory. Just 10 minutes of natural light can stabilize your internal body clock, circadian rhythm, improving both daytime alertness and nighttime sleep. 2. Fresh air oxygenates the brain, helping you feel clear and awake. For seniors living in quiet homes, a dose of morning air reduces feelings of confinement or fogginess. 3. Gentle motion activates the muscles and joints without stress. Walking increases circulation, especially to the brain. It also releases endorphins, natural chemicals that create a mild feeling of calm joy. Many seniors pair this ritual with mindfulness. Instead of walking quickly or with earbuds, they walk slowly, taking in what they see: trees, birds, sidewalks, passing neighbors. Some even use this time to speak simple affirmations aloud, like, "This is my time. I am grateful for this new day. I'm not rushing. I'm arriving." Doctors who study longevity notice that older adults who walk daily, especially in the morning, tend to maintain sharper minds and more stable moods, even when living alone. Dr. Paul Benson, a neurologist specializing in aging, shares, "We've followed patients into their late 90s. The ones who stayed mentally sharp almost always had one thing in common: they moved with intention each morning. It wasn't exercise. It was ritual." What if the weather isn't ideal? Even cloudy mornings provide enough light to benefit the brain. And when it's too cold or wet, simply standing on the porch, balcony, or by an open window while stretching gently can still offer many of the same mental benefits. For those with mobility limitations, adapt this ritual: use a walker, walk in place by the window, or even sit and move your arms and legs while breathing in the morning air. The point isn't perfection, it's presence. And here's something beautiful: over time, this walk becomes more than movement. It becomes a companion. A moment of peace that says, "I'm alive. I'm here. I belong to this morning." If you live alone and crave something to look forward to, try this: put your shoes by the door tonight. Tomorrow, when the light appears, step out and meet it. Because the path doesn't have to be long to lead you home to yourself. In the homes of the happiest seniors who live alone, breakfast is not rushed. It's not skipped. And it's never random. Instead, it is a calm, repeatable ritual that gently opens the day, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Doctors have observed that older adults who thrive on their own tend to begin their day with a light, familiar breakfast routine, the same table, the same dish, the same rhythm. This is not about nutrition alone, though healthy choices help. It's about the comfort of predictability and the power of self-care in the first hour of the day. Why does this matter? Because for seniors living alone, the early hours of the day can either bring clarity or chaos. A calm breakfast routine does more than fill the stomach. It sets a tone, a message to the brain that the day is safe, structured, and worth stepping into. Dr. Elaine Foster, a geriatric behavioral health expert, explains. When an older adult prepares and enjoys the same peaceful breakfast every morning, they are creating order, confidence, and connection. It's one of the simplest but most powerful things they can do for their mental health. Let's break this down. 1. The routine itself creates grounding. Using the same plate, the same mug, and the same place to sit gives the brain a strong reference point, a gentle cue that all is well. Especially for those who feel the drift of memory or loss, this consistency anchors their day and reduces stress. 2. Eating slowly improves digestion and mood. When a senior prepares breakfast without rushing, sits down, and chews slowly, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. This lowers blood pressure and inflammation and improves nutrient absorption. But more than that, it brings a sense of presence to the moment. 3. Gentle choices boost brain and body. Many seniors in studies who report strong emotional well-being often eat combinations like a small bowl of oatmeal with berries, one boiled egg with whole grain toast, herbal tea with lemon, a slice of avocado on toast. These foods are easy to prepare, low in sugar, and high in fiber and antioxidants, all supporting brain health, gut balance, and stable energy. 4. The act of preparing builds confidence. Living alone can sometimes lead to passivity, waiting for the day to start itself. But preparing breakfast, no matter how small, reminds a person that they have agency. They are still active participants in their own lives. 5. It can be a time for reflection or quiet joy. Many seniors light a candle, turn on soft morning music, or glance out a window while they eat. These little moments don't seem significant, but doctors are seeing how they build emotional resilience over time. A peaceful breakfast becomes a daily meeting with oneself. If your mornings feel chaotic, numb, or empty, try this. Set your table tonight. Lay out your favorite mug. Decide what you'll eat. And tomorrow, give yourself 10 minutes of peace, just you, your meal, and the quiet start of a new day. Because even when no one else is around the table, you are still worth preparing for. In the quiet homes of the most emotionally balanced seniors, you'll often notice something subtle but powerful. Their spaces are simple, clean, and peaceful, not because they cleaned everything in a rush, but because they tidy a little every single day. Doctors and psychologists are now recognizing the deep connection between our physical surroundings and our mental well-being. For seniors living alone, maintaining a tidy space isn't about perfection, it's about control, clarity, and care. And the most successful do it in small, gentle doses: one drawer, one table, one shelf. Why does this habit make such a difference? Because clutter creates mental noise. When your environment feels chaotic, your thoughts often follow. Seniors who leave messes untouched often report feeling more overwhelmed, fatigued, or emotionally scattered. On the other hand, those who make daily tidying a quiet ritual feel calmer, clearer, and more in control. Dr. Lee Harmon, a psychologist specializing in late-life transitions, explains. Every time a senior takes a moment to organize, fold, or clear, even something tiny, they're reinforcing their sense of order, dignity, and purpose. That small act tells the brain, I'm still here. I still care. Let's look at what this looks like in real life. 1. The ritual of one small space. Rather than trying to clean the whole house, which can feel overwhelming, many seniors commit to one spot each day. Monday, dust one shelf. Tuesday, fold 2 shirts in the closet. Wednesday, organize the mail pile. Thursday, wipe the kitchen table. Friday, fluff and realign the couch cushions. These tasks often take just 5 to 10 minutes. But they restore mental structure and give a satisfying sense of completion. 2. Tidying as a mindful practice. Some seniors pair tidying with soft music, humming, or even silent prayer. Instead of seeing cleaning as a chore, they treat it as a form of self-respect, a quiet offering to themselves and their home. As they fold, they breathe more slowly. As they wipe, they reflect on the day. This isn't housekeeping. It's healing. 3. Visible progress builds emotional momentum. One of the hardest things about living alone is the feeling that nothing changes unless you make it change. Daily tidying gives visible proof that you've made a difference today, even if it's just a clear counter or a freshly made bed. And when the outer world feels a little more in order, the inner world tends to follow. 4. It prevents decision fatigue. Clutter doesn't just crowd your space. It crowds your mind with decisions. Where did I put that? Should I move this? Why is this still here? Each question pulls energy. Seniors who tidy a little each day reduce these invisible stressors, leaving their minds freer to focus on what really matters. If you live alone and sometimes feel like your space reflects your loneliness, try this instead. Choose one small area. Clear it with care. Do it gently. Do it slowly. And when it's done, pause and take a deep breath. Because your home doesn't have to be full of people to be a place of pride, peace, and presence. It just needs a little love, one corner at a time. When doctors first began studying seniors who lived alone yet appeared consistently joyful, focused, and emotionally balanced, they expected to find unique social programs or high-end support systems. Instead, what they discovered was far more ordinary, and far more powerful. These seniors weren't surviving on therapy or medication. They were thriving through quiet, repeated daily habits. These 5 simple rituals, warm water and stillness, daily gratitude, short outdoor walks, calm breakfasts, and small acts of tidying, aren't random behaviors. They are strategic signals to the brain, designed by life, refined by wisdom, and now supported by science. Let's explore why these quiet habits make such a difference, especially for those living alone. 1. They give structure to the day. Doctors emphasize that aging brains crave rhythm. Without school, work, or family routines to create natural structure, days can become unanchored. That's when anxiety and disorientation creep in. But these rituals act like mental guideposts, helping the brain transition from one phase of the day to the next with ease. 2. They calm the nervous system. All 5 habits lower cortisol, the stress hormone, and promote parasympathetic nervous activity, which helps with rest, digestion, and emotional regulation. In other words, these habits tell the body it is safe, which is vital for seniors who may face health fears, physical isolation, or emotional uncertainty. 3. They reinforce agency and self-worth. Many seniors living alone experience a subtle erosion of identity. Without others around, it's easy to question your value. But daily rituals restore that inner voice. I still make choices. I still create my space. I still shape my day. This sense of personal agency is one of the strongest psychological buffers against depression and cognitive decline. 4. They stimulate brain activity through gentle repetition. Repetition, when done with awareness, is a form of mental training. Pouring tea slowly, folding laundry mindfully, writing a gratitude note, all require motor coordination, memory, and focus. These tasks may seem small, but they engage the brain in healthy, low-pressure ways that maintain cognitive flexibility. 5. They foster emotional resilience without relying on others. While social connection remains important, these habits give seniors a sense of independence that is emotionally grounding. Doctors have found that those who build inner rituals are less prone to mood swings, panic, and rumination. Why? Because they've created an internal support system, a self-sustaining loop of small actions that reduce emotional volatility. Dr. Naomi Chen, a geriatric psychiatrist, puts it simply. These rituals are like emotional vitamins. You may not feel the change overnight, but over weeks and months, they strengthen the whole system. Perhaps most beautifully, these habits work because they are gentle. They ask for no performance, no audience, and no praise. They honor the quiet dignity of aging. They respect the soul's need for stillness, rhythm, and grace. If you or someone you love is aging alone, don't overlook the power of the everyday. Start with one small habit. Repeat it with care. Let it hold your day like a hand holds water, softly, but with purpose. Because in a world that often feels loud and rushed, peace belongs to those who choose to live slowly, with heart, with intention, and with quiet joy. Not every senior feels lonely every day. But even the strongest minds and most independent spirits can feel an emotional drift when the house is too quiet, or the hours feel too long. According to doctors and geriatric specialists, there are clear signs that your brain and body are asking for gentle structure, and that's exactly what these quiet habits can restore. Here are some of the most common signs. 1. You feel a sense of floating through the day. If time feels blurry, if you forget what day it is or feel like the hours melt together, it's a sign you may need grounding rituals. Daily habits bring clarity and help the brain find its rhythm again. 2. You often feel tired, even if you slept. Many seniors report fatigue not from lack of rest, but from lack of stimulation. The brain, when underused, grows dull. These rituals offer small moments of purpose and focus that gently energize the mind. 3. You feel emotionally flat or easily irritated. This isn't always depression, it may simply be emotional stagnation. Quiet routines like writing gratitude or tidying help release stored emotions and bring calm back to the nervous system. 4. You avoid mirrors, meals, or open windows. When you begin turning away from daily experiences, eating without presence, keeping curtains closed, avoiding your own reflection, it can signal disconnection. Small rituals bring you back into relationship with your own life. 5. You feel like the days no longer matter. Perhaps the most telling sign is when the days feel empty or useless. But rituals return meaning to the moments. They say, today still has something to offer. And so do I. You don't need to fix everything overnight. Start small. 1 glass of water. 1 5-minute walk. 1 line of gratitude. Because these small acts are more than habits. They're lifelines, soft threads that hold you gently in the present, and remind you. You are still here. You are still needed. And your day still matters. When you live alone, it's easy to believe that joy must come from the outside, from visitors, big events, or sudden changes. But the happiest seniors have discovered a deeper truth: peace begins in the small things you do when no one is watching. The warmth of morning light. A tidy corner of your home. A glass of water held with care. These quiet rituals aren't just routines, they're reminders. Each one says, I still matter. Each one builds a sense of rhythm, comfort, and self-respect. Doctors may be surprised by how effective these habits are, but seniors who live them each day know exactly why they work. Because in solitude, structure becomes sanctuary. And in repetition, you rediscover meaning. You don't need to change everything today. Just begin with one habit. Let it anchor you. Let it grow. And watch how it transforms your day, gently, quietly, and completely. Even in the silence of your home, you are shaping a beautiful life. Start with one habit today, not because you have to, but because you deserve peace, purpose, and joy every morning you wake up. You're not just passing time, you're still building something precious.